So I'm realizing why we should not tell people what we're about to do before we do it. For a while, I didn't really understand what's the issue. Why can't you tell people what you're about to do if they're your close friends, right? Like, the people around you, why can't you tell them what you want to do if they're supposed to be people you love? And I think what we don't realize is that we have certain expectations that we have in our heads with our ideas, or how we feel about them, can, if we sustain that feeling and it's uninterrupted, then what we want can manifest smoothly. I think when we tell people what our plans are, it's in a way to see if we can get some validation outside of ourselves as to whether or not this is a good idea or not. And I think we need to, and some people, based off their reaction, may just be receptive to what you're saying, and maybe you perceive it as a lack of reaction means it's not a good idea. But they're not saying those type of things to you. But the lack of excitement that you kind of expected they would have because you have it makes you automatically feel less encouraged to do what your, what that plan was or what that idea is. Because now, you're assuming that it's not the best idea if someone's not as excited as you are about it. Or if they have, sometimes they may be like, I don't know if you should do it that way or this way. And sometimes I think as individuals, we have to honor what's coming into our minds, our intuition, because it's for us to manifest, not other people. And other people don't mean to throw us off. But I think that's why we have to reduce sharing, what our plans are or what we're about to do before it happens, because it can almost make it not happen in a weird fucking way. And then you look like someone who just says something and never follows through. So you're better off keeping it to yourself and sharing other things that are not regarding, share your results, not what you're about to do. Okay? I think that's the gist of what we're supposed to do at this point. And I'm recording this because I want to remember this sort of information that's coming into my consciousness. And hopefully it can benefit, you guys as well. Because, I used to always hear, don't share your plans with other people. But it's like, but why not? No one ever explains anything. So, it dawned on me as to why it is that we should not share what we're about to do before we do it. I struggle with this a lot with music. I'll maybe, try to hear what people think about it and not stand by how I feel about it. And I think it's important for me to realize that as an artist making music, that my emotional state is so important because I have to follow through with manifesting this into reality. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to just work hush-hush and make things happen and not really tell people anything. And that's going to be a challenge for me going forward, because I do like to share what I did for the day, because people tend to ask. I go MIA, and then people ask, what did you do? And, I don't feel like lying. So I'm just going to have to not to lie, but avoid, maybe talking about certain things until they're done. And that's going to be a challenge for me, but it is what it is, If it feels like it's a challenge for me, I also have to assess how long am I speaking to an individual instead of taking action that it feels so damn challenging. You know what I mean? If it feels challenging, then I should just get off that phone or stop hanging out, whatever, and get to what it is that I want to do before I waste that energy saying it, and the lack of reaction the lack of excitement that I want others to have about it isn't, it's happening, like I wish, it makes you want to, you want people to be just as excited, like, oh my God, good idea. Like, think about the times that has happened. It's fueled you, right? So I think because it has fueled us in the past, it does make us be like, you know what, let me just check in again. But I think the gist is, you got to check in with people, but not every time. Like, follow through first and then just take the feedback then and move forward with that into consideration. Because sometimes it's better to have taken action than to not at all, right? So I feel like hearing everyone, but never like following through with anything can make you not be action oriented and in your head. So I do think that like we need to take action, do it, and be open-minded to it. You know, criticism, because it's going to only make us shape ourselves into diamonds, right? It's like your mold. You got to carve yourself. You got to cut out the stuff that needs to go and shape yourself into a diamond. So it's no different than a body trying to get in shape, cutting the fat. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to get rid of what you don't really need to have, right? So in order to be your most to reach your highest potential self. So I think it's so important for us to just do that in order to manifest what we want. And now that I record this, I'm going to have to follow through with it. So I can't, my brain can't even dare to make me not remember this because I have it recorded. We wake up every day and it's like the reset button hits and you got to like coach yourself back into motivation. You know what I mean? That's just part of being human. That's why it's important for all of us to document what's in our brains. If we think it's even close to valuable for yourself, then it may be for others, We are all one at the end of the day. Yeah, well, that's just it, really. I just wanted to lay that down because I thought it was pretty significant. Why we should just keep it to ourselves. I used to be like, but that's so secretive. What's the point of that? Like, okay, doesn't make sense. There's nothing really making me see the importance of doing so until now. So, let's see how things move forward from here.